Right guys, part 2 now. So I would argue this is probably the most important part of the lesson, which is the control. Without this, you're probably not going to be able to hit the next segment, which is the submissions. So you can see we're going over all the options our partner as the defendee can do, and we're trying to shut down all of those options to get a higher percentage on those subs. So again, this is the control lesson.
To the second part of our crucifix lesson. Now we're going to go over the control aspect, what makes a good crucifix position. So I'm just going to use the turtle entry as an example, but we managed to get to the crucifix, right? However it happened, maybe I pulled her back and we landed there, or we rolled forward. Let's move back a little bit this way, and I just put myself back in crucifix. Beautiful, lovely. So this is probably the most important part of the lesson, because it really, if you don't get the control aspect of the crucifix, you're probably gonna lose it really easily. People are gonna turn in and you end up kind of like almost at the bottom position. By far, the worst thing that could happen here in terms of Tamara's best move would be her turning towards my legs and then turning into me where I can't follow her, and then I'll end up in the bottom of side control like this. So our priority is always to keep her away from those legs, right? And we can do this a couple of ways. The first one I'd recommend is by using a palm-to-palm grip against the face, right? So instead of a traditional kind of kimura grip or whatever, or collar grip, we're always gonna secure the head and we're gonna pull it away from her arm and then just isolate her in place, right? So if she tries to turn in that direction, it feels like her head is gonna kind of crack, right? The other way people usually control someone is by using this kind of like kimura grip instead. So if again she tries to turn in that direction, her arm is being stopped and it kind of keeps her in place. And we can do a number of things like trying to get our knee towards our elbow like this to even make the position even tighter. But usually I'd recommend just this. This should be good enough to stop it from happening. And then we can go into our kind of subs afterwards when the person kind of calms down. Tamara's second most common kind of escape is a backward roll. So more athletic people, they tend to go this way. So they will try to slide their body down and then they'll just do a big backward roll and then end up on top. See that? Nice. Luckily Tamara's quite athletic, so she's able to do it. So if you ever feel someone sliding down your body, that usually means there's only one thing they're trying, and it's that backward roll, right? And you got two choices. You can either try to follow them, right, and just not let them slide underneath that much. And the other thing you can do is just take their arm away, right? What makes that position quite powerful is her keeping her body towards her arm towards her body. As soon as I take it away, she won't feel like she wants to do a backward roll anymore because she'll roll into a kimura, right? So just make sure that arm just gets pulled out if you ever feel the person is sliding backwards. Because if she does try to do a backward roll, she'll go like, oh no, I don't want to anymore, right? Because otherwise she'll hurt her own arm, right? Other than those two escapes, you really just have to deal with this arm, right? If this arm comes out, that's the only time she's gonna be able to get out as well. And the main way they will try to get up is this way, and their goal is to come up and then trying to like walk towards mouth or posture up, trying to break this grip from us and escape. So with those ones, you have to be one step ahead. You usually have two answers to it. The first one is if we're able to stuff the hand into the chest and push it, as she tries to come up, she should feel like she hit a little brick wall, and you can use your legs to try to fish for the arm again, or sometimes we're gonna have to bail out and actually go for the head and arm. This is another kind of chain that we'll learn in the submission chains after. Or we might even have to come up to a kimura grip and then just accept the top positioning instead. Your second most common move from here is a back take, where as she comes up, we slide our knee in this little gap, pushing her backwards, getting our first hook in, and then transferring the grip to try to go for like a collar choke or something like that. So those are your answers to most of Tamara's counter towards the crucifix, right? So just to recap, we really want to prevent the person from turning into our legs. That's their primary escape, the safest one. We can do that either with a kind of palm to palm grip, a Kimura grip, or just a good control knee to elbow kind of stance. If things get a little bit worse, where I feel her body going sliding down, I'm just gonna really secure this wrist or try to slide back in to stop her from doing the backward roll. And if we lose this arm at any point, I'm trying to sneak my knee in or throw my leg over to stop her, or go towards north-south where I can pin and then stabilize the position from there. So using those little tips, you should be able to start setting up submissions, which is the next segment, but you must have a good control understanding before you start going for those submissions, otherwise you're always gonna lose them, right?